us at WLUW 88.7 FM, Hoan Huynh. He is our state representative, but now he is running for 9th District, the 9th Congressional District. Welcome, Hoan.
Hey everyone, this is State Representative Hoan Huynh, and I'm just very honored to be here today with Trudy, and happy to be on the air right now at WLUW 88.7 FM.
Hoan, when you decided to run for 9th Congressional District, what made you feel that this was the time to take the big jump, the big leap up?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a huge honor to be the current state representative for the north side lakefront of the great city of Chicago. And I think right now we are in a moment of crisis. Certainly this country is going in the wrong direction. And I think back about the promise of America. My family and I were refugees from the Vietnam War. My grandparents died in Vietnam fighting for democracy during the war. And my dad was a POW for 5 years. And this country saved us, gave us an opportunity to be successful. And so I believe that we need to make sure that this generation and the current generation now and the next generation has to have these same opportunities to be successful. And we have to restore the American dream and the American promise for all of us. So that's why I am right now running for U.S. Congress in the 9th Congressional District. And we're running to make sure we fight for our country's future, fight to bring down the cost of living, fight to protect Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and fight to protect our democracy as well.
Well, it seems Democrats, they usually have the same kind of agenda in mind, but they did. What do you think what happened so that they were not able to achieve? They had part of your goals is like long-standing, but why aren't they able to achieve it? And how could you achieve what they need to achieve?
Yeah, I believe we've been too complacent in Washington. I think we need a new generation of young blood, young leadership in Washington that's really going to take the fight against the status quo. And I think what we need to do is also focus on economic issues. We have a huge affordability crisis right now across this country. The prices of goods are going up, and it's becoming way too expensive for housing costs, property taxes, healthcare costs, grocery costs, utility costs. We've seen gas prices skyrocket in the last couple of days or so. And so we need to bring those costs down. I think Democrats have to be very solutions oriented to bring those costs down. So I have a solution to bring those costs down. And we need to deliver on tangible benefits for the American people and certainly for all of our neighbors in the 9th Congressional District across Chicagoland area.
Oftentimes, let's say some kind of minimum wage goes up, then everything else goes up with it, and it's so hard to keep up. Let's say, let's talk about the Chicago minimum wage. It goes up to 17%, $17, and then rent goes up, food goes up, and you just are always behind. So let's say you are able to make one part of this whole mechanism of our society better, but how can you make all the entire mechanism work in unison?
Yeah, absolutely, Trudy. And I'd say what we've seen in the past several years is the widening gap between the folks at the very top, the 1%, the folks who are making millions and trillions of dollars per year, and certainly the folks in the middle class and the working class. And I think what we need to do, and my proposal is we need to take 1/5 of 1 penny, 1/5 of 1 penny on every financial transactions that multi-billion-dollar hedge funds have made in this current economy. And if we do that, if we take 1/5 of 1 penny of every financial transaction that we've seen, we can generate $800 billion extra over the course of 10 years. That's $80 billion extra a year for us to just reduce and earmark to bring down the cost of housing, roll back the cost of property taxes to 2018 numbers, and also reduce the cost of healthcare and the cost of transit as well. But I think we need to also be very adamant about making sure that we close in this widening income gap between the very wealthy and the working class and the middle class in this country.
I understand perfectly what you're saying because we all do want that, and it's so necessary. However, there are also always those special interest forces in the background pulling us back because they do want to make their money. So how would you address that?
Yeah, and I would say, we are the only campaign in this race out of about 20 different campaigns that has not taken a single dime of special interest money. Our campaign has been very grassroots funded. We have had over 10,000 donors across this congressional district, and I think that speaks volume to the type of campaign that we're running. We're running a very people-centered campaign, a very grassroots campaign, and we've taken, again, $0 from special interest groups, from corporate PACs, big pharma, big oil, whatever you name it. We have not taken any dollars from those entities, and I think that's very important. That keeps us accountable only to our neighbors, and I think at the forefront we keep our neighbors in mind when we get to Washington. And certainly, the thing that we need to really make sure that we know is when we get to Washington, the only folks that we answer to are our neighbors in the 9th Congressional District. I mean, these are folks that have sent us to Washington. We're there to fight on their behalf and to fight for their families' behalf. And that's my job, is to make sure that we fight for this country's future, that we fight to bring down the cost of living for our families in the 9th Congressional District, that we protect Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, and that we protect our fundamental human rights, whether that's women's rights, voting rights, immigrant rights, refugee rights, LGBTQ plus rights. But we got to make sure that we fight for all these rights and make sure that we put our country in the right direction.
Then have any special interests offered to donate to your campaign?
I've had numerous special interest groups offered to donate, and I've always rejected these donations. I believe that we need to make sure that we are only accountable to our neighbors, and I think that's something that's very important. Is we got to make sure we get big money out of politics as well. When special interest groups come in with millions of dollars, that's coming from outside this congressional district, that's coming from Washington, D.C. insiders, that is a huge problem in our democracy, and we need to make sure that, again, the democracy belongs to the people, and we've been very adamant and very grassroots about that. So I believe, again, at the end of the day, we are only held accountable by our neighbors, and we got to make sure that we put our neighbors at the forefront, and we got to do what's best for our neighbors and for our working and middle-class families in the 9th Congressional District, and we got to deliver on real solutions for the American people as well.
Could you give me an example from your position as state representative of neighbors coming to you with a problem and then you finding a solution for that problem?
Yeah, we have one of the best constituent services office right now in the entire state of Illinois. Every year we solve thousands of casework for our neighbors up on the north side lakefront. And we try to do within 24 to 48 hours. So whether it is casework on folks trying to get access to health care, Medicare, Medicaid, to SNAP benefits, access in terms of them getting their license for a nursing license or education license, or whatever it may be, or even trying to find access for housing. We've worked year round, and we worked around the clock to make sure that we're able to find those resources and that we place folks with those resources as fast as we can. So every single day when I am in our office, we make sure that we meet neighbors where they're at. We also do mobile constituent services casework as well, where we come to people's doors and we come to neighborhoods across the district, and we hear folks on their issues, and we try to also solve those issues as fast as possible. So we've had a wide array of issues that folks have had in the 9th Congressional District, whether it is accessing public benefits, accessing Medicare, Medicaid, and then also accessing license renewal or any other issue that they may have. We try to solve that within 24 to 48 hours in our office.
Wow, that's remarkable. For instance, because so people that are homeless too, they sometimes you're able to help them as well find something.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am currently right now the vice chairman of the housing committee down in Springfield. That is, I'm a ranking member of the housing committee, and part of my job is making sure that we solve for the continuum of housing, whether that is folks who are experiencing homelessness that are looking for supportive housing right away, to first-time home buyers who are trying to buy their first home in this current market, in this current economy. So my job is to make sure that we place folks with the right resources. So when folks do come into our office looking for housing opportunities, We work again with folks across the state, with our housing entities, with the Illinois Department of Housing Authority, and with the Chicago Housing Authority as well, to make sure that we can place folks in support of housing. We also work with our local shelters as well to see if there are placements there if possible. But our job is to make sure that folks, when they come to my office, that they're able to get resources. And I find, particularly as someone who came from a refugee background, that we need to be very accessible to our neighbors. And that's something that I've held true to the values that I grew up with, is making sure that government access and government services are always going to be available to our most vulnerable residents and neighbors as well.
How many terms have you served as a state representative?
I am in my second term right now, so it's been a huge honor to serve the Northside Lakefront for the last 4 years. And this year, it's bittersweet as we are running for U.S. Congress, and I hope to serve in that capacity come March 17, the Democratic Party primary on St. Patrick's Day.
Let's return to the housing challenge to people. So when people come to you for help, then you're able to help them because those people want help. Then we have a big population that don't want to be helped, but they're suffering, and it weighs down on everyone. We don't want to see them in the street like that. Is there any way that the government, be it the state or the federal government, can address that challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say, we have to look at it from a multitude of different factors. We know certainly folks who are experiencing homelessness right now, they also experience mental health issues as well, substance abuse issues, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. And so we also need to make sure that we take that into consideration as well. When we send out social workers who are then able to work with these individuals to prepare their casework so that they can then be placed into shelters or permanent supportive housing or transitional housing, we need to also make sure that when folks are being set up for those kind of resources, that we are also coupling those resources with mental health services, with economic opportunity, employment opportunity resources as well. And so, those are some of the challenges that we see folks who are homeless experience on a day-to-day basis. And so I think we need to make sure that we think about the continuum of care as well. And we certainly also agree that, the very baseline of getting someone from the very bottom to the very top is make sure that we fulfill their Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? That's the very basic food, safety, and shelter. And so we have to get to that very basic baseline. And I think we have had success trying to make sure that we're able to deploy these resources, deploy these social workers to some of these campsites and some of these encampments, and try to make sure that we are able to move folks as fast as possible. I know certainly sometimes there has been resistance, but I think certainly we need to really couple that resistance with additional casework when it comes to providing additional mental health services, additional substance abuse and alcohol treatment resources as well. And I think once we get there, we're able to certainly place folks into, again, transitional housing, permanent supportive housing, and then some of these shelters as well.
When you said that when people come to you with constituent services, I also have a problem that I've tried to go to every level of government. I got hacked on Facebook about 3 years ago, and Facebook has not been responsive. I've tried like the FTC, FCC, Secret Service, FBI, all my state legislators, and and law enforcement, and no luck. Any suggestion at all? And have you ever had an instance where a constituent came to you for this?
Yeah, we have had a 100% success rate in our constituent services office. Every issue that folks have brought to us, we have solved it diligently and as fast as possible. And certainly, Trudy, we'd love to take on your casework as well to make sure that we're able to solve whether it's an issue with Facebook, with privacy policy, with the FTC, but we want to make sure that we're able to solve that as fast as possible. And if it is something that's outside of our purview, whether it's something that's more at the federal government then we try to also link up with our congressional offices as well. And then certainly if it's something that's obviously much more local, like the aldermanic level, then we also link up with the 6 aldermanic offices that I oversee as well right now as current state representative. So, we have a very big district in the state house, and we have over 6 wards in the state house district, and then certainly in the congressional district is also exponentially bigger as well. But we try to be as helpful as possible, and certainly we try to also connect folks with the right resource as fast as possible, and also with the right networks as fast as possible as well.
And we will be right back. Thank you so much, Hoan, for that response. Could you help me shut off those 2 cameras? We'll start again. Let's see. Let me play one of my songs over here.
Okay.
All right. So, Natalie, let me. Hoan, you come sit over here,
Sure.
and then